Live, local, trusted. Follow WKYT News on X. Everyday Kentucky, weekdays at 9 a.m. on WKYT.
Join me for Kentucky Newsmaker Sunday morning at 11:30 on WKYT.
All right, new tornado warning now out in parts of our area. It's the same storm that has been producing rotation for a while now. It is the storm that we're looking at here in Jackson County and parts of Rockcastle County as well. Tornado warning is out for this area, and it does touch on you folks there in Owsley County and then northern parts of Clay County as well. Let's click on this and get the official information to see the expiration time and what we've got with all of that to show you the very latest that's coming out. So it goes through 8:30 this morning. It's 7:56 right now for all of those areas mentioned. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask Ben, who's over there in the Weather Center, I'm going to ask you to peek inside this and show me the velocity so I can check out and see exactly where this spin is currently happening in that area. So he's going to pop that up here and we'll be able to see what kind of a situation that we are dealing with. So, all right, it's a general broader rotation there. And we're seeing little hints of it here and there, a little notch or two right there. You can see at least some indications of it. A very limited amount, but it's certainly there. And because it's had a history of being stronger at times, you can see it rotating in there. And what we look for is the differing colors going side by side here that would indicate that winds are going in one direction and then they're going into another direction as well. So it'd be right there in that general. Okay, now this looks a little bit better. Just switched radar sites, I imagine. Is that what you did? Yeah. And now we can actually see a little bit better right there. So this is south of the Loam community there. And then let's zoom in a little tighter, Ben, so we can get some more of these communities try to pop up that are within that zone. And you're in an area where there aren't a lot of roads, as you're seeing. There aren't a lot of truly big communities that are out there as well. So this is South Tree Lookout Tower Road. And that looks like it loops around and then comes back up to here. So it's there. And again, you're talking about some rural parts of the county that are also there. That's Gibson Road that we're looking at. And I've also got Bear Gap Road that's right there in the concentration of where some of this rotation would be indicated right now on our radar. So it continues moving off toward the east as well. That's not the only active tornado warning that we have in our area. We do have another tornado warning, and Ben's going to zoom in on that and show us and take us all the way up into parts of deeper into true eastern Kentucky as well with this as we start venturing off into Johnson County. There we have a tornado warning that is out. There's the community of Nippa. Known many of good folk that lived right through there and out toward Flat Gap as well. The core of this, and there you see Kentucky Highway 581 that's also included in on that. So you've got those areas. US 23 also snaking through there, big 4-lane highway that goes through that area that travels not only from Johnson County, but goes through Floyd County, goes down into Pike County, and a lot of north-south traffic along that road, and a lot of folks will be trying to head to work right now, especially as they might be going up to the Ashland Oil as well, which is beyond all of this. So the tornado warning is right there. Let's peek inside this one too, Ben, so we can see what radar, what the velocity looks like. And when I say peek inside it, we're essentially taking our equipment and we're getting in an X-ray of what's going on inside a storm. And when I can see it, I can get a better idea of what kind of rotation we've got. And you can see the rapid change of some of the color back to back there. That would indicate that we've got some circulation here, especially right in that area north of Nippa there in Johnson County. So this is another tornado warned storm that we're looking at, and that has that has some better rotation than what I've seen with some of the others out there so far today. But very intense winds also around this. So this is going to cross right over US 23, one of those main roads into eastern portions of Kentucky, one of those large 4-lane highways that carries a lot of product, a lot of goods, and a lot of folks that are going to be heading out to work, and some going to school right now, or maybe already at school, just depending on what it is. So that's what we're looking at there. All right, Ben, let's get a good broad view of what's going on out there so we can see all of the active weather that we have across central, southern, and eastern Kentucky. And there you see it. There you've got all these thunderstorms that are lining up. This one that moved in from over in Rockcastle County, now getting into the folks there in Clay County, Lee County, Jackson County, all in that tornado warned storm, and then more up the road, as we mentioned, there in Johnson County. So it's all lined up. This is your main attraction, and this is why there is a tornado watch out, because we're just getting these little waves, these little ripples along the line that can spin and give us thunderstorms. So that's been a concern for a while. See what's happened? The deeper that line goes, the more counties go away from our tornado watch. Okay, so that's our main focal point, is that line of thunderstorms that is out there on radar right now, because everybody else still south of that line or right on that line, you are still in the tornado watch area. So you have heightened concern for right now and the next little bit until we can get that line through here. And sometimes expiration time doesn't really match up to what time all of this really dies down. So that's always a good thing. They put those out as a precaution. All right, let's get back to the First Alert Radar Network so we can see exactly what's happening out there. Let's go back in on this one right there, the one that's out for mainly sections of Jackson County, and that warning does include the city of McKee. You can see it right there. McKee included in on this, and that's right along 290, for example. It goes down to Anvil. Both communities there are in the polygon, in the warned area for a potential tornado, though the spin and circulation that we've been watching is probably right there south of McKee, and it is, and it's a little bit more toward the west too. So we will watch and see how this progresses. It could just come splitting the two areas, okay? You're looking for a change in wind direction, change in wind speed, and you can see the hints of it right there. So that is near the DeBolt community, it looks like, DeBolt down there in Jackson County. So that would be north and west of the city of Anvil as well. So it'd be coming right through there. Got a fresh update on radar right then too. So with that, and now exactly, now you can see it's along 290. If there's anything on the ground, it's going to be within this area here in between Anvil and up towards Atkinstown. So that would be where we've got the spin. McKee, it's probably very windy and very loud there right now with the wind and the heavy rain all coming into play. But the true spin where we could be possibly throwing out a tornado is going to be just south of that, crossing over 290 as of this moment. So if you're in any of those communities, you're in that area, you need to be aware that it's time to get to that safe location. Should have been there just a few minutes ago. Basement, lowest spot in your house. Maybe you got a two-story house and you don't have basement, bottom floor. And get in the center of it. And what I mean by that is take yourself away from the outside walls, the outside windows that lead to where the wind and everything that could be flying, the debris could come crashing through those. So separate yourself from all of that. You want to, what I like to say, you want to fortify yourself and keep yourself as safe as humanly possible. And that's what you do by putting more walls between you and the outside world as well. So again, possible tornado in this area of Jackson County. That's why there's a tornado watch, and that's what we've been monitoring. Have you got anything, any new information over there on anything? Have you seen any new reports or information coming in yet?
Seen at least is that Johnson County warning, that tornado warning, has been canceled.
Been canceled. So okay, so there's that. So Ben's going to work the radar around a little bit to take us back out to Johnson County for just a moment to show you that that warning is gone. The threat of strong storms is not. It is still in that area, but the tornadic threat has now been relieved for those folks there in Johnson County. No strangers to tornadic activity. Of course, back in 2012, several died in tornadoes there when we had the March 2nd outbreak in 2012. And then you go back toward the west a little bit into northern parts of Magoffin County. You get into West Liberty. These areas all know all about that. These are not severe thunderstorms. These are just some general strong, gusty thunderstorms with lightning, heavy rain, and perhaps even some embedded hail. So let's drop back down to Jackson County and let's get the very latest on all of it and see how this is moving along. So the core of the most severe activity is right there. You see it, and then it's going to jump over and it's going to get into Owsley County. So Owsley County already included in the warning. Clay County, I think that you are all clear clear. Just looking at the way the trajectory is, you're certainly clear down in the city of Manchester, okay, the most populated area confined into one location. You are clear. If you're checking us out from down there, I think you're fine, but it might just be that northern little tip that goes along there. There's 421 that goes through Jackson County and then comes all the way up and goes toward central Kentucky as well. So that's another road that a lot of folks will be traveling along out there this morning, right as it goes through the city of McKee, in and around that area. But right in here, getting ready to head toward, it looks like 30, right toward 30. It is about to get a little more interesting, already has here in the past few minutes. So again, Clay County, I think most of you are going to be in the clear. That northern part will be, you're getting into some very rural areas too, where the populations are sparsely separated here. You got a little bit here, then you got some over here. So that's what we've got. Let's lock in a little bit tighter again, Ben, so we can possibly see a few more communities out there. All right, there's the herd community. There you see Sturgeon as well that's included. There's Egypt. There's 421. There's Atkinstown I was talking about a minute ago. But let's investigate it again, Ben. Let's go inside. Let's look at our radar velocity so we can see where it's spinning, what's happening with that. And still some indications there really close to the 290 corridor that you see right there. So again, we're looking for the rapid change in color and over a short amount of time. That would indicate that there is spin in the air. So this would be the primary location somewhere along 290. Again, the radar data sweeping by, getting us updates as frequently as possible to have the latest information there. So if there's a tornado, it's going to be within that. And just looking at some of these colors, and I'm just talking off the top of my head by just matching them up with what they mean, you're looking at some pretty strong winds associated with it. Anyway, there you go, Ben. Thank you. Right in that area. Those winds, not just by looking at them, they're popping up with those colors, those brighter colors, and that would tell me that we have some very intense stuff there. 50, 60 mile per hour winds. Even if it's not a tornado, you've still got some very strong and a good concentration of those winds in that area that would be whipping around north of Anvil and in between that and Atkins town as well in that community along 290 right now, and then we'll continue to approach 421, for example, between Egypt and then going up toward McKee. McKee, you are not in this. I mean, the warning's out for you and you're included, but the actual bulk of where this is happening is going to be just south of you right now. And I'm not saying it's a walk in the park there right now. I'm just saying that down the road is where there could be potential spin. Let's look at just pure radar data again. Let's drop the velocity and let's look at the wide picture, and you can see those thunderstorms. They continue to line up and move across Kentucky. This is closing in and getting closer and closer to the Hal Rogers Parkway. And it might be more of this section that impacts the Hal Rogers Parkway than this section where we actually have the warning. But again, heavily traveled roads. Very hard to see from one point to the other because you've got the mountains around you. And keep in mind, what we all learned, what I've always known, but what we all learned back in 2012 was tornadoes go over top of mountains. You get tornadoes that go over top of them, so they provide no protection. They'll go up and over and get into a valley and cause all kinds of problems all along the way. So that's what we're looking at here for that potential in those communities right now with this tornado warning that is out for those folks in Jackson County and northern parts of Clay, and then you got Lee and Owsley, but mainly right there. All right, we're going to go in tight again, and we're going to go in and we're going to look at this a little bit closer. By the way, as he's zooming in, let me remind you that we've had all kinds of issues with flooding out there, especially around Powell County, Menifee County, into Rowan County. A whole other set of issues that's out there as well that can also be life-threatening, especially if it approaches your home, and especially where most people do this, driving through it. So if you're out there and you're getting ready to leave, and you're away from where there's a warning, but there's been some flooding reported in your area, you see that water, don't go through it, okay? That's the other issue, because there's a multitude of things happening out there right now. This is our warned area, crossing over 421 right now with some of the strongest stuff. Again, McKee, you're fine. It's, again, loud and bumpy there, but the core of this is right there and will continue moving toward the folks over in Owsley County. That is the targeted zone for the potential tornado. Tornado warning was set to go to 8:30. It's 8:10 right now. So what'll happen over the next few minutes is we will see maybe it gets an expansion. Maybe it gets changed into just a severe thunderstorm warning, which is still nothing to walk away from or laugh at, because they can also be deadly, and they can also cause a lot of problems. There you see the official information on that warning as Ben's plotted it for us here. Again, 8:30, got about 20 minutes or so left on this for Clay, Jackson, and into Owsley counties, all included in on this at this moment. All right, I want to see where that core is again, Ben. So let's give it a good x-ray so we can find where that wind could be spinning, where that wind could be twisting that's embedded within that. Okay, there we go. All right, right around the Herd community, H-E-R-D, and it looks like that's right along Highway 30 as well. And he's getting a little tighter so we can see even more. Okay, there's Zeke's Point that's included in on this. And my eyes are awful, but that's Sturgeon Road right there. I'm trying to look at another screen over here. Vickers Road up there. But this right here, within this vicinity, there would be rotation. That's what that's showing us. You got blue, you got green, you got them together, you got the potential for that. And outside of it, because that is detecting wind, even if there's not a tornado spinning in that area, even though the likelihood is looking pretty good just by radar data, you have very strong wind that is also cruising through those skies. Now look at the roads. They're few and far between, but you've got a lot of folks that probably live along some of these more rural roads that are out there. And you're getting, as he's showing you some of the velocity numbers, some of the specific numbers there, showing you that there is some decent speed associated with this that is embedded within that right now, right around where we're seeing some of the circulation. So we look for these numbers. We look for numbers with shear in order to give you an estimation of how quickly a lot of that would be turning, especially when you look at the gate to gate. That would be the quick turnaround there too. All right, let's pop it out again, Ben, and let's look outside a little bit more. We'll pop back toward the west, and you can see another thing that's likely going to happen soon. Some flash flood warnings will likely come into play down there. Just wait and see on that, because you've got this round, you had another round, so you've got all of that. So that just adds insult to injury when you're in a situation like this. A storm that's passing through that area. Notice the lightning, the uptick in it, what that tells me. Let's freeze it right there, Ben. Let's put it in right now mode and stop the animation. But this concentration of lightning as it's starting to fire up a little bit more, that says, all right, there's a little more intensity to this. It's just one of those outliers you can look at. There are times that you can get a tornado warning and there won't be much lightning, but the intensity's going up. There's a little more instability trying to feed this thing. So that's one just a little sidebar issue that we can watch and try to figure out. We've already had lightning strike a home here this morning in Madison County earlier, so it is another problem. This right here is a possible tornado that is moving through the Jackson County area. McKee, I know the warning is still shaded around you, and that being the county seat, a lot of people are going to work, a lot of people work, the courthouse is there, all of that. This is in the clear from the tornadic threat. You're not in the clear from thunderstorms, because they're certainly still out there and moving through the area. So there you go. It just shaved off the back of it, didn't it, Ben? Yeah, it shaved off the back of the warning. So exactly what I was telling you. You're not in that warned area any longer. Now the warning has actually changed. Let's see what the official information is, Ben. See if they changed the expiration time or something like that. They might have, probably didn't, but we'll look at it. He'll click on it, and we'll see what the tornado warning is. And still going to 8:30. It's 8:14 right now. Okay. There's a sign right there. You just saw a new warning pop up, but it wasn't a tornado warning. So what they're seeing is what looks like it's coming down from the tornadic stages. The spin isn't quite as prevalent as it was early on, and now they've extended on with the warning. Now, does that mean it goes away the entire time? This has had a history of doing this. What it's been doing is it's been going up and down with the rotation factor. This new warning is still something to watch. It's a severe thunderstorm warning for Breathitt, Clay, Jackson, Leslie, Owsley, and Perry counties. Now you're getting out here around the Buckhorn Lake area for thunderstorm activity. It's not exactly lake season, I know, but a lot of folks still head out there to the lodge, they eat dinner, they eat lunch, they eat breakfast, they do all that, and still visit the area this time of year. So a good thunderstorm headed in that direction. And then you get into Breathitt County too, south of the county seat, Jackson, and the Weather Service office is right there. Where you see the radar, it's literally right beside of it, okay? So that's where they are. So the city's here, and the Weather Service office is there where the radar is sweeping in from. So you've got the severe thunderstorm threat that will continue beyond what our tornado warning will allow. All right, let's do another zoom in there, Ben, on the tornado warned section. And then let's once again give it a good x-ray and go into velocity mode so I can get a good look at this. And so you can get a good look at it as well. So there you see a little shot of some potential spin that is still out there around the herd community north of Egypt. So it's already past 421. It's going over 30 right now in this general area. That's where you're getting the change in wind direction, which if you got wind going this way, you got wind going this way, what's it doing? You see what I mean? Let me do it this way. It's doing this. It's causing it to spin. There's a spin in the middle. That's what we're detecting out there. All right, the newest sweep, newest data coming in. Let's slide that finder over just a little bit as we're going now over into Owsley County. Okay, it's still right there, right around Island City. Okay, that's where we have the latest indication of some spin that would be right in this section at its most intense point. So update showing it there now, just into Owsley County. As of this moment. There, thank you, Ben. Now you can see he's drawn that on there. This is the area of concern where there could be a potential tornado perhaps on the ground. And we're looking at some of those communities. We talked about Island City. You've got Spivey School. You've got Moore Road in that area. You've got State Highway 1503, it looks like, and then Hudson Hill Road that's feeding down into where the center of circulation is on this. And then you got Highway 1350 out there as well, with our tornado warning right there within the line of it. So all of these areas right now could be dealing with a potential tornado. So right now our tornado warning continues. You seeing anything else over there, Ben, that I haven't mentioned so far, because you've got your eyes on several different things too?
So one thing I'm also seeing too is that they have expanded the tornado watch into farther parts of southeastern Kentucky as well. So that's something to be mindful of. If you're like in Perry County or up towards Pikeville,
right,
you're now in this watch.
Yeah, so at first it was not that far east, as Ben just said. Now it has extended more eastward into that area right there. So you've got more counties in the watch. And what does the watch mean? It means the ingredients are there to possibly spin up more tornadic activity. So tornado watch is now out for that section of Kentucky. We already have a severe thunderstorm warning out, like I said, for the folks there in Perry County, the far western reaches of Perry County out toward Buckhorn. And now tornado watch that extends all the way through Pike County for this event. All right, let's go to the wide radar view, and we can see everything that's happening, all the action that is currently out there, all the thunderstorms that are lining up. And it's all about this line, okay? The reason they extended it down here is they started seeing some spin showing up in these storms. We had the warning out there in Johnson County a little while ago, the tornado warning. Now they've extended the watch down to the south and east of that. And then you've got this section of it too that will also spark more concern. This was already under the watch, but as of this moment right now, tornado warning still active in parts of Owsley County. It's 8:19 right now. We're going to stay with it as we always do. That's our thing here, to make sure we get you through the worst part of these. Ben, did they just upgrade that? Let's go. Yep, they did. Yep. Let's go in a little deeper. So they kept the rotation. They saw the rotation that was still rather strong, and now we have an extension on that tornado warning that is going all the way through Owsley County and then going into Breathitt County as well. And I keep mentioning you folks there in Perry County, you've got a tornado warning now right on top of you as well. Now, this isn't in downtown Hazard, okay? That's not where we are. Again, this is out toward Krypton and out toward Buckhorn. Breathitt, Clay, Jackson, Owsley, Perry counties all included in this part of the tornado warning. So it's extended beyond, and it is heading in that area. Owsley County, it's right on top of you. Now the extension takes it even further. So this is south of the city of Boonville, the county seat over there in Owsley County, and then it's right along 11. All right, let's stop the radar, and now let's zoom in with our velocity so I can, again, get a good idea of where the positioning is, where the tornado might be in this community. So we're going to go to that right now for you. And then you've got some of that circulation right there. I believe that says 846. It's right around 846. That's the road. I'm not talking about the time. That's the road. So you've got that right there. And so it's going to continue on that track. It's been right around Island City for the last little bit. Heavy rain and thunderstorm activity extends out and away from this as well. You've got Cow Creek there. You've got Ricetown, all within the path of that storm that is right now possibly producing a tornado. Ben, I'll give you just a second, but if you could go to the severe weather lineup and go to the severe weather safety tips, we'll pop those up there. It's something we haven't done here in the past few minutes. So while he's doing that, we'll continue to just monitor what's happening within that storm. And if you're around any of these areas, if you're in Perry County, if you're in Breathitt County, those parts of those counties, then it's time to get into your safe location and try to remove yourself from the hazard that is out there. This is what we got. Ben, could you go over there for a second?
Yeah, we look at the tornado safety tips as we continue to monitor these tornado warnings. We're talking about seeking a safe shelter, of course. You're going to want to be more into the most interior part of your home, lowest level, away from windows, a bathroom. That's a good place to go. Safest place is going to be a basement, of course. Your interior room on a first floor, and also, if you're in a mobile home, you want to try and find another place, a more sturdier structure. And another thing, too, is to protect your head, because if you're dealing with that tornado that's coming through, well, you got stuff that could fall, and you want to protect your head. Your head's pretty important, so that's something that's really that's going to be an important thing here as we go through the next several minutes as these storms continue to push to the east and into parts of southeastern Kentucky. So that's one of the items certainly that you want to be mindful of. Let's go look more into details on some of those alerts there.
No, and we've got these hard hats here at KYT, and you often hear Chris when he's here doing the severe weather coverage. If you've got an old football helmet, you got an old helmet at any mom, dad have an old construction hard hat like I've got on right now. That's what you need to get a hold of. You need to put that on, because that adds an extra layer of protection for the old noggin, trying to take care of that. So if you've got anything like this, certainly throw that on, because it does add another layer of protection. We keep those right here with us in the studio. We've got them all over the building too, for other reasons, but we've got them here. And if you've got them, like many people do, you can get that on your head as quickly as possible. Ben, will you zoom in again on the tornado warning? And this time, don't go too close. I want to be able to see the city of Hazard as well, because I just want to watch the trajectory on the line itself to see how it's traveling. Okay, right through here would be where the possible tornado is right now, okay? So it continues to look like it's not pulling dead southeast, but it is pulling a little southeast, okay? You've got like what we would call east-southeast kind of turn. So this would be more into northern parts of Perry County. A lot of folks live in those areas as well, and you got one of those main roads. Again, I keep talking about main roads this time of day. You've got Highway 15 that connects Hazard to Jackson, and then Jackson and beyond, and then you've got all of that. Here's some communities that Ben has plotted here for us, and right now it's 8:24. In the next couple of minutes, Cow Creek there, what you see highlighted. Then you got Canoe around 8:38, and then Altro, and then the community of Dice and Emelina at 9:06 a.m. as well. All of these in the targeted zone for the tornado warning right there. Well, and some of them are beyond that, but in the warned area and in the track of where this is going. So again, it's not diving right toward the folks in Hazard. If we see a veer, we'll start updating you on that. But right now, just not seeing that veer. That's, of course, where the biggest population, 10,000 people, whatever the population is there now. I think it's between 5 and 10, somewhere thereabouts. That's how many people you got in the city alone. So right now, it's just north of that, but would continue on if it stays at this rate, and this type of intensity could continue on into Knott County eventually as well. All right, let's drop the track. So let's go inside and let's look again to see exactly where we are with this storm and who's being impacted by this. So tornado warning is there. There's Buckhorn finally popping up. I keep talking about it. There's a big state resort. There's a lake out there. And again, a lot of people will travel out there, especially during the warmer months. But they like the lodge for food, too. So it could be active there. You've got a school in that vicinity, too. One that we've talked about numerous times here on WKYT because they had all that major flooding. It took them a couple of years to get back to normal over there. Now we're looking at a possible tornado that could be sweeping into that area right now with some indications of spin, rotation. That's what it's all about, watching that rotation and whether or not there is a tornado intact within this. So I'm looking at a place called Conkling, and right along 11, you've got Trixie down there. That's what it looks like, Trixie. So within this whole vicinity, this would be where you could run into that spin, where you might get a tornado that spits out of this and could cause some problems. Now, I'm not saying this is a major EF5 or anything like that, but it's enough to cause damage in a smaller scale out there as well. So that's problematic. The only thing we've got going for us in these areas is you're starting to get into very sparsely populated areas. That's the only positive here. So it could be hitting more remote locations if it is in fact on the ground than it is hitting areas that have a lot of population. Ben, you seeing anything else over there?
Not anything alarming right now, no.
All right.
It's really just this tornado warning that is the current thing, obviously.
Right. And see, that's the thing. Sometimes I'm over here talking, and sometimes there might be some little blip that comes up that I don't see right away. So Ben's got his eyes locked in on radar over there for us, and is keeping up with all of that and all the other information that will come our way. But tornado warning is out. Let's lay out some of those communities again. Let's just look up close. We don't have to put a track on this just yet, but I've got Lucky Fork over here. I've got Sebastian, and again, these are all places. You live in the area, you know all about them. You know where they are. You know that's right down the road from your house, or that's right down the road from Granny's house. You know. You've got Newfound Road right there. I mentioned Sebastian. That's Left Fork. You've got Left Fork or Laurel Fork Road as well. Some of these roads are getting lost in the topography. This is a great example of what I was talking about. A lot of people don't live on top of these hills. They live down in the valley locations, okay? You get down into these spots, like where this road is, where Newfound Road is located, or you get where the Highland School is located there. That's down in more of a lowly elevated area now. So those are where the roads are, and then it takes a while to get over here to this one. But when the way a tornado travels and the way fierce winds like this travel, they're going to rip and roar right over top of that if in fact we do have something on the ground in these spots. So again, Sebastian, Left Fork, Buffalo Road, Laurel, again, Highland School, just some of the spots. All right, let's zoom out again, Ben, and let's look at the broad scope of everything. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go and warn the folks that are going to be down the road from this warning, okay? So let's just lock in on that part of Perry County and that part of Breathitt County that is not seeing the severe side of this yet, Ben. So let's go right in here where it's still kind of calm in a manner of speaking. So right now we're going to go in there and just show you, because I want you people to be very, very prepared. That looks like it's 1110. That's Highway 1110 there. And you've got, or Route 1110. There's Buckhorn. I keep mentioning that. That's a good sized community out there too, and with a lot of people. And like I said, a school that's right there. If it stays on this trajectory, it's going to shift on over, and then here's Highway 15, which is one of those main roads in and out of that area. You've got a few from Perry County, but that's one of them. It'll go up through Jackson, then all the way down to the south as well. That will take you down into Letcher County too. So all the way through Perry and then into Letcher County. So again, like I said, a lot of people are going to be traveling along this corridor, and that corridor is going to be impacted here very soon by either what is a very strong storm or a storm that could be producing a tornado in that area right now. So those are the spots that need to go ahead and be prepared, because that is where it's going. Now, I'm looking at this, and it's not as intense on what we call true reflectivity. as it was a little while ago. So what we'll do is we'll take a little gander inside and see the x-ray, see the wind, see what's spinning within that storm, so we can determine where there is some of that spin. And they're still there, Ben. It looks like it's broadening out, and maybe it's not as intense.
Yeah, it looks like it's starting to, yeah, it's not kind of as tight that the color gradient, you would say. It's
Right.
not as tight. We're not seeing as dark of those blue colors that indicate, of course, that higher velocity. So that certainly is a good sign. But
Yeah.
it's a more broad rotation now.
Broad rotation, and that just kind of it flaring out a little bit, and it's not as tightly compacted as what he was saying, and that means you're not dealing with this one little small area that could be spinning like a tornado. That's my version of a tornado right there for you, that would be spinning along there. So we're losing some of that. So that's a good sign. That's a very good sign. But the winds are still going to be pretty strong and very gusty within that zone. How long does this warning go? I forgot time on that.
It'll be till 8:45.
To 8:45. All right, we're at 8:31 right now, so we will continue forward with this until the threat is gone. There you see the official information, and it has yet to reach where there would be a possible tornado. It hasn't really started to dig too deep into Breathitt County yet, because it'd be right in this area is what it looked like. So it's just about to go over the border into Breathitt, and then that would put you folks there in that little arm of Perry County that's up there a little more elevated than the rest out there, again, around the lake. That right there would be another targeted zone if it stays right on track, because if you notice the way this polygon, and the polygon is the warning area, okay? The way it's angled just ever so slightly to the south and east, that would push it right toward them in there. If you just went by that data alone, that's where it would be at least trying to clip and go through. But right now, into Breathitt County, look at that radar data change. That's a little more intense. That indicator of some hail right there is what just popped up. So there could be some embedded hail within this as well. Another issue that we run into in these severe thunderstorm situations, and it's another reason we get severe thunderstorm warnings, when you get large hail associated with it. All right, let's do a little dig again and a deep dive into it, and we can see what's happening out there. And Ben's got a look on his face like the computer went wonky on him. It did. I see it. It went a little wonky there for a second. But right now, all right, now let's get you into velocity mode and see exactly where the winds are strongest, where they're headed, and if there is any hints of that rotation right there. And there, I mean, again, very broad. I like to say that it's weakening quite a bit, but it can go through a metamorphosis here over the next little bit that could indicate that we get a little bit stronger once it jumps the border and goes on over. So there is that as well. So another little concerning look with that overall. Ben, I saw some warnings up north. That wasn't in northeastern Kentucky, was it? Or was that more into West Virginia?
Double check where that is popping up right now.
Yeah, just swing that thing around so we can see, and then we'll come back to this. Okay.
Tornado warning in West Virginia.
In West Virginia, okay. I just caught a glimpse of it, and I wasn't sure where it was. That's outside of Huntington, West Virginia.
That's the one that went through Johnson County not too long ago.
That's the one, okay. That's the one that was a tornado warned storm that he's talking about. We had a warning right here across northern parts of Johnson County. That has moved on over into West Virginia, still sparking severe or possible tornado and all kinds of flooding in and around the Charleston area. You said there was a flood emergency out in Charleston, West Virginia, right?
Charleston, West Virginia, along that I-64 corridor south of Huntington as well. Yeah, they're on our flash flood emergency right now.
Flash flood emergency. We know all about that here, as we've dealt with several of those over the past several years. So a big-time rainmaker is out there, friends. All right, let's get back to our tornado warned storm, as we're just peeking at radar as we do to assess everything that's out there. This is our area of concern right around Crockettsville, in that general area. You've got the community, and it depends on where you're from. You've got the community of Arnett or Arnett out there. Where I'm from, we say Arnett, but it's technically, I guess, Arnett, and that's it right there. Just passed through there a little while ago. Lucky Fork, Buckhorn, the rain picked up on top of you here within the past few minutes. So that's what we're seeing at in those locations. Let's get another X-ray, Ben. Let's get another X-ray so I can see where that wind is strongest and where there might be something spinning. And right now, it's kind of going loosey-goosey, isn't it? It's not. Let me move to the other side now, because it's not what it once was. You're still seeing some rapid changes in colors and direction, which would mean there's some intensity there, there's some stronger pockets, and then you've got the spin that's indicated through that area or near the Lucky Fork, which, if it stays on track, puts it right there, basically would put it right there rotation-wise, riding the line along Perry County and Breathitt County after it jumps over the border and comes deeper into the area. So it'd be right there in the vicinity of where the warned storm is located, where the actual polygon, the outline on radar, this red line you see right here, and that goes out and around, the shaping of it. So that is on our radar picture right now. So you get a little spin with that wind velocity that would keep it going. But let me say this, just looking at it, not pulling up individual statistics with it, it's not as impressive as earlier, all right? It's not as impressive as it earlier was in the last little bit. So, all right, back me out again and let's see what's going on with the rest of it. There's a full update with that radar data coming here in just a second. But you get this line that goes all the way down back toward Columbia and then goes just north of Somerset, and then it kind of arcs back a little bit into Sigersville and out toward the folks there in Paintsville as well. Speaking of those communities, let's show the tornado watch graphic, because there is a watch out for all of those areas. Lexington, when it first came out early this morning, we were in the watch as well. Now we are not. What's happened is the flood watch replaced, it was already out, but as far as priority is concerned, tornado watch goes over top of a flood watch, because the imminent threat that comes with a tornado, it's got to be top priority always, and that's why we stay on the air like we do when there are tornado warnings active in our area. So we're going to continue watching this zone out into eastern portions of Kentucky for some more tornadic development. More tornado warnings are going to be possible in that area. You saw some that are out all the way into West Virginia. That line's going to keep dropping and moving in, so the threat remains heightened for tornadic activity. The spin has been there in these storms. Numerous warnings have been issued out there so far today, and we could get in on even a few more. Back to the First Alert Radar Network, and what we'll be able to identify is all of the rain that is out there right now. All of those showers, all of those thunderstorms, all of the activity. There it is. You've got a new severe thunderstorm warning right there, don't we? Down there in Pulaski County and going over into Rockcastle and Laurel counties as well. It's a brand new severe thunderstorm warning, and you're going to get more of these. I mean, just when you think it's over, another one or two of these will pop up. That goes through 9 a.m. Laurel, Pulaski, Rockcastle. My bet's on 60-mile-per-hour winds with these, and maybe some larger hail, but the main threat is going to be wind, because that has been the most consistent thing showing up with all of the thunderstorms that have developed out there so far today. So again, 9 a.m. for Laurel, Pulaski, Rockcastle counties, and that is right there going into London and just outside of Somerset. So, but it's right there in between. Ben, you look like you found some information over there.
I just want to confirm, 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts with that severe thunderstorm warning. That's what the hazard is with this, as it continues to push to the east, and we kind of just see more of a training of storms down here into southern Kentucky. That's just what we continue to see, and it looks like we actually just got a new severe thunderstorm warning. Not a tornado warning. That's good news. This is a new severe thunderstorm warning now that now extends farther east.
There we go. Yep. This is from that tornado warned storm. Okay. And it does, the severe thunderstorm does include the city of Hazard, the county seat of Perry County. That continues through 9:30. Breathitt, Clay, Knott, Leslie, Owsley, and of course Perry County. They're all mentioned in that. South of the city of Jackson does include the city of Hindman. This is all along Highway 80, going all the way up almost into Floyd County. Does not quite get that far with the warning just yet, but it would be more of a southern Floyd County thing if it did. But this right here, as Ben and I have been discussing here, it continued to look less and less strong as far as the tornadic activity was concerned, right?
Yeah, it continues to look less like that signature of, that you would see with tornadoes. That certainly is a good sign. And we can go back and look at this. I mean, we still, of course, have the tornado warning. that's still active for at least another 5 more minutes over towards Buckhorn and also the Canoe area. But yeah, we should take a look at the X-ray, the signature, the velocity, and see what it looks like now. So
yeah, let's pop that up there again.
Pop that up now,
and we can see exactly what's happening. And again, we're looking for. Okay, well that's. It's not what it once was. There's still some indications that you've got winds going in different directions. Okay, but it's not that tightly concentrated stuff that we look for to continue a tornado warning for an area. So, but it is right around Buckhorn. That's there's at least some hints of it there, but it's not, again, that tight little buckle that we watch. But you've got Buckhorn there, and again, as I've been saying, the schools in the area, the lakes in the area, the lodges in the area, you got all those things, and then you've got some high winds right around it. But what is replacing it, because they continue to see a deteriorating factor in some of the data, is the extension went with a severe thunderstorm warning. Does that mean it holds? No, because a few minutes ago we ran into the same thing. I told you these pulse up and down all the time, and they'll go up and then they get back into that intense level and they can possibly produce a tornado, then they'll go back down. They'll weaken some, and then you're just looking at wind and rain and all of that goes along with it. So if you're around the Buckhorn area right at this moment, there is at least some hints that there could be enough spin for some development out there as well. And you were watching you've got a new alert. What do you got?
I do have a new alert.
I saw you looking at your watch. I thought some new information came through there.
I did not get, not anything new right now, but.
All of us have every piece of technology we can. We got alerts from all over the place. I've got it in my watch, I've got it in my phone, I've got it everywhere. I can't get away from it. So we get it from all of these locations. All right, let's back it out. And as we back it out, we will just look at just this immediate area to see what's happening. The latest with the warning. That warning was set to go here for a few more minutes as far as the tornado warning is concerned. We're getting really close to the radar sites as well. So what that means is if there is circulation low, the closer you are to the radar site, the better chances of seeing it will be, because you're so close, because the radar beam shoots out, because Earth is round and the beam shoots away from the surface like that, and you can sometimes overshoot or undershoot, and you can get it right in the middle, whatever the case may be. But that's what we've got. But the severe thunderstorm extension that's out right now includes southern parts of Breathitt County, northern Perry County, hazard in on the severe thunderstorm element with this as well, and that's what we are watching. And again, we're just minutes away from the expiration on this. Can you zoom out again just a little bit so I can see the other side of that severe thunderstorm warning? There we go. All right, so that's where it's all lined up. There's that tornado warning we were talking about in West Virginia. You got severe thunderstorm warning right here through northern parts of Perry County, then jumping over into Knott County. Jackson, you're just about all clear. You're about all clear from the severe nature of all of this. Then in Syersville, too, it's passed through there, so another county seat. Again, a large clump of population in these spots. Same thing there in Paintsville. The heavy, most intense nature is not there. This is just a good soaking rain with occasional lightning and thunder that's left over for you. And this is about to go away here in just a couple of minutes, I imagine, from what we are seeing. Nothing has been alarming jumping off a radar with that signature with velocity, would you say?
Not anything of recent. It just continues to look like it is weakening a little bit, but
right.
I want to take a look at the one, just in case here, look at the one that's in the Pulaski County, just to see what's going on there.
Yeah, it has intensified there a little bit, hasn't it?
Yes.
So let's dig in on that, because that is also a severe thunderstorm warned storm. And again, that's why I've got my handy dandy Ben over there. He can watch all that stuff while I'm up here talking to you. But okay,
that looks pretty good.
There's some hints there. There's some hints right there for sure that we are seeing a little spin embedded within that storm in Pulaski County. So do we get an extension, or not an extension, but do we get an actual warning, a tornado warning storm out of that? It could happen. Because it is certainly right there, and the indicators are with us for it. Otherwise, the colors that are there are certainly telling us that we've got some very strong wind gusts that are embedded within that too. So you got a lot of wind. And you haven't seen it, they haven't changed it yet, have they? They haven't updated anything.
No changes there. I'm also wondering too about the, let's go into southern Breathitt County here.
Okay, let's do it.
Looks like there's some pretty good
Oh,
signature
right
of some hail at least.
Yeah, a little hail core right there. Okay, the tornado warning just went
just
away.
Expired the warning.
Just went away as it was supposed to at 45. But look at that. Yeah, we've already had from earlier storms today in other parts of Kentucky. We've had golf ball sized hail. So that right there, what he's looking at and what he pointed our attention to was that little hail core right there. I mean, that could really be causing a whole set of other issues in that area right now. All right, let's go one more back zoom so I can look at everything and kind of recalculate everything for you, and then we'll hush for a little while, and then we'll see what's going on with the very latest. Again, eyes are going to be kind of on that storm out there in Pulaski County because, again, there was at least some hints of rotation showing there in Pulaski County, but right now it remains a severe thunderstorm warning. Severe thunderstorm warning that includes the city of Hazard, winds of 60 miles per hour, perhaps higher. That will continue over into Knott County as well, and then it goes Pulaski, Laurel, Clay, all included in on that. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a break from our severe weather coverage. We still have some news on the CW Lexington we'll try to get to for you, and then on WKYT we'll take you back to CBS Mornings. But if more activity breaks, we'll be back on both channels. Stay safe out there.